Hey there, hungry people. This is Ashray with Food Flip. We have the holidays right around the corner, and we have 3 last-minute simple recipes that are killer sides to your main meal. Let's get right into these recipes, starting with a cheesy, creamy corn casserole. In a pan, you're going to start with 1 tablespoon of butter. Once that is melted down, we're going to add a little bit of heat with a Serrano chili pepper and 4 chopped garlic cloves. Once that is brown, we're going to add the corn to the mix, mixing that together to get that garlicky heat from the oil. And then we're going to add starting with our cheeses, some cream cheese, some salt, pepper, and then up the cheese a little bit more. We're going to add about 6 ounces of cheddar cheese and 4 ounces of Parmesan cheese. We're going to mix that all together so it's nice and incorporated into the corn. And then we're going to transfer that into a oven-proof tray. Top that off with a little bit more cheese because why not? And then some other additional breadcrumbs. We're going to bake that until bubbling at 400 degree Fahrenheit oven preheated. Once that's in there and it's come to a bubble after 15 minutes or so, you're pretty much done. That's good to go. That's recipe number 1. This cheesy corn casserole will be a real killer at any holiday party. Next up on the docket is a French onion green bean casserole. We're going to first start this by caramelizing these deep onions and then layering that up with our green beans, a nice creamy sauce, and topping that off with some cheese. So we're going to start with those caramelized onions on a medium-low heat. We're going to melt 2 tablespoons of butter. Once that's melted, you're going to add 2 large onions and a large pinch of salt, cooking that low and slow until it's nicely caramelized. Mine took about 20 minutes, stirring occasionally. Next, we're going to go with our creamy pour-over sauce. We're just going to start with 2 tablespoons of butter and 2 tablespoons of flour, mixing that until the raw flour taste has been cooked out. Once that is gone, slowly add 2 cups of milk. Don't spill any like I did, and as that sauce thickens, you're going to add some dried thyme, some nutmeg, and some salt. Once that's thickened to your desire, mix that all together and set that aside. Now, before we put this all together, we're going to flash cook the green beans to give them that nice vibrant green taste in a large pot of boiling salted water for a couple minutes so that they keep that bite. To assemble, you're going to start with a layer of caramelized onions. Once you have that layer of caramelized onions, you're going to add the green beans that we had just shock cooked a little bit before. And then we're going to pour over our creamy thyme, nutmeg infused sauce. We're going to layer that with a final layer of caramelized onions, a little bit of Gruyere and Parmesan cheese blend to give that nice cheesiness in each bite. And then once we've added the cheeses, we're going to add a layer of breadcrumbs to give it that final crunch when you take that first bite. Pop that in the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes. Turn on the broiler for the last minute to make sure it has that nice golden crust. And lastly, our cheesy scalloped potatoes. This will be a definite killer at any holiday party and is one of my personal favorites. We're going to start out with the sauce of this scalloped potato, which is going to start with a few tablespoons of butter in a nice little saucepan. Once that's melted down, we're going to add some sliced shallots and garlic, seasoning that with salt, pepper, and some dried thyme. Once that has been nicely seasoned, the shallots and the garlic will cook down and brown, and once they develop that nice caramelized color, we're going to add 2 cups of heavy cream. Bring that to a boil and let that simmer for 15 to 20 minutes until they're nice and fused. And then while it's happening, I slice 4 to 5 pounds of potatoes, stack them vertically in a baking tray, and then pour over our infused cream. Cover and bake that for 60 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit until those potatoes are nicely cooked through. You can check by using a knife, and if it slides through without any resistance, then it's done. Uncover that and top that with some cheeses. I use Gruyere and Parmesan, and then pop that under the broiler until that cheese is melted, bubbling, and has developed that nice caramelized layer. And boom, you're done. There goes 3 low-stress, epic side dishes that'll make the main dishes feel jealous. For the recipe and measurements, go to foodflip.com or click the link below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let us know what you think and what you want us to cook next. And remember, stay hungry. I'll see you guys on the flip side.